So today I was thinking about how people in the furry fandom often think that they need a fursuit to go to a con, or they feel they need a fursuit to fit in. Now, I personally feel that I need a fursuit to battle my anxiety if I were to ever go to a con, and I just don't know if I would be very comfortable going to a con without one. But you have other people who think that you need a fursuit to fit into the fandom. Now, I think that's a little bit wrong to think that, and I'm going to explain why. The definition of a furry is interested in anthropomorphic creatures. I would say anthropomorphic animals, but I think it applies also to insects and whatever. Um, but I think that people just need to be reassured that you don't need a fursuit to be a furry, and a fursuit to go to a con. And if you actually look at con videos, a majority of the people that you see in the background, despite the camera of course being focused on the fursuiters, don't actually have a fursuit, and they are there to have a good time. They're not there to take photos or record videos. Actually, well, some are, not all of them. But I mean, to me, had I not had the anxiety I have, I would just be perfectly alright going to a con without a fursuit, and I probably wouldn't even be that bothered spending thousands of whatever your currency is on a fursuit. And I just personally believe that some people sort of blow the whole fursuit thing a little bit out of proportion, saying that you need a fursuit to go to a con, and you don't, because, of course conventions have their rules and regulations, but having a fursuit isn't one of them. And I think it's not the people's fault that have just discovered the furry fandom. It is mainly the newer people who have discovered it that sort of have these misconceptions of what you need to be a furry, and they say, oh, those fursuits are cute, I want a fursuit so I can be a furry, whatever like that. And they're like, and they also think that age is a number, but I think, well, age is a number obviously, but I mean as in age matters, but I'll probably explain that in another video. But I just feel that people have these misconceptions often when they're new to the fandom, and I think once they're told that they don't really need a fursuit, I think that's when they will realise that, not really having a fursuit isn't so bad. It's not just as simple as, and I don't have a fursuit by the way, but I know what it takes to own one, and it's not just as simple as owning one, spending all that money owning one, and hanging it up and not wearing it when you don't need it and then wearing it. No, you need to clean it, you need to maintain it, you need to buy special soaps and stuff. I've read up and saw tutorials, seen tutorials of it on, and I just think people often just think that it's just a one-way thing, like you buy the suit and that's it. No, you will be spending money on this suit until you either rip it, get rid of it, or of course the later option, which I'm not going to say because I think that's pretty obvious, but whatever. You're going to be maintaining this fursuit for as long as you have it, and that's just it. You can't just say to yourself, oh yeah, that's it, I'll just keep it and wait for a con to come around. I'm getting a little bit off topic here, but I think people just need to understand that, you don't need a fursuit to go to a convention. I mean, if you have a local convention, go to it. And I mean also accommodation for a convention is expensive enough. What I would personally suggest is go to a convention without a fursuit if you're not someone like me. Now I know some people obviously feel they need one because of anxiety issues, and I completely relate to that because that's how I am personally. But if I don't get a fursuit soon, I may have to just go to one without one because, just to have an experience, see what it's like and whatever, and see if it's actually worth getting a fursuit. Because as cute as they are and as well made as they are, I just personally don't think that they're worth all the trouble of fretting over and thinking that, oh, I need one because this, that and the other, I'm not going to fit in, no one's going to accept me, no one's going to want to talk to me. Look, people who don't want to talk to you because you don't have a fursuit are a little narrow-minded. I think people will have to, take a good look at that. If anyone just, befriends you because of the money you spend, the suits you have, the merchandise you have, the art you get, they're not really friends, are they? This fandom is about an interest. It's not about the suit you have, the money you spend. If you want to be a furry and you feel that you have an interest in anything furry, go for it. And same can be said for cons, which is the main point of this video, of course. If you really want to go to a con and you're like, oh, I want a fursuit, or I need a fursuit to go to one, just go to a con, try and experience one. I personally cannot right now, but I won't obviously make it around me. But if you really, really, really want to go to a con and you really, really want to interact with these people, go for it. There's no reason, and there's nobody saying that you can't do that. You know, you don't need a fursuit for that. I mean, a fursuit, to me, as much as I feel like I would need one, is a bonus, and I'm pretty sure I said that early on, and it should be the same for everyone. It's a bonus, and it's a very expensive bonus that only your hard work from whatever income it is, whether that is YouTube, if you do YouTube and you're quite popular, whether that's a local job you have, whether that's working, you know, God knows how many hours on the other side of the country, whatever, it doesn't matter what your job is. As long as you're earning a stable income and you can afford a fursuit, buy one. But I wouldn't rush it, okay? Life is short and we should not be worrying too much about a fursuit or not. You know, I'm pretty sure if you really, really want one, you will eventually get one because you will try your very best to get one. You will do everything in your power to make sure that you get one. And I think that's very important to focus on. You shouldn't just base your assumptions of the furry fandom on what you've seen in con videos. Like, you know, when you look at con videos, it's easy to think that, you know, you need a fursuit, but you don't. You don't need a fursuit at all. You can just go to a con as you are, you know, with any fur related merchandise if you have any. If you don't, then fine. But I just think people should maybe start to realise that maybe you don't need one. You could go without one. There's actually people who don't really want a fursuit because they feel maybe they're too warm and sweaty and whatever. It's hard to maintain, it's hard to clean, everything like that, you know. They realise the sort of costs that it takes to own and maintain one. So I think before anybody realises that they feel that they need a fursuit, I think it's worth looking into it. As for conventions, same can be said there as well. I mean, the price of it. The price of it, I mean, it's like, at least here in the UK, it can be up to probably about £200. I think it's a night or across the weekend, I'm not quite sure, for a hotel for a convention. And that's a lot of money. So I would say, definitely recommend going to the con first. You know, unless you genuinely feel that you need a fursuit to combat your confidence issues like I do, or anything like that, I wouldn't really recommend saying that you need one. I mean, and like I said, it's mainly to do with the newer people in the fandom who find this fandom, they think, oh yeah, I need a fursuit to go to a con. You don't, okay? You know, it's a bonus. And I've said that multiple times in this video now, but that's genuinely what it is. You shouldn't base your own value off of a fursuit or anything like that. And you shouldn't let anyone base your value off a fursuit. If someone you know has a fursuit and they're going to a con, having a good time, this, that and the other, that doesn't mean you can't have a good time without one. As long as you stick around with your friends, talk to them, have a good time, maybe have a couple of drinks if you're old enough to drink, then I think, you know, you'll be fine without a fursuit. You know, it's not a need. It's a want, but it's not a need. And I don't think I have anything else to say on this matter. So this is the first video on the channel for those who do not know. I am a furry, also called Aero Foxy on Fur Affinity. I'll probably link my Fur Affinity in the description below if you really want to go to it. But what I'm going to be doing on this channel is I'll upload whenever the fuck I want. And I will also just talk about genuine issues that I have in this fandom. Like, not fandom breaking issues, but just issues. Thanks for watching and peace.